this morning, Heather wanted to, I don't even know what she wants to share, but she'd like to share something.
Well, gosh, thank you. First, on Friday, I had to scoot out early from the morning huddle, and it was brought to my attention, Rob, thank you. I guess you said a whole bunch of cool stuff about me, and so I'm just really thankful for that, which leads into a gratitude I want to share with everybody about both of you. I just recently, yesterday, closed the largest transaction of my life, one of those price points where you think this will never happen, or at least I thought that. And so for 4 years in my career, I have just been, you always strive to average to a higher price point. And so thank you to Haven and to the quality of the leads that come in, because it was a floor time call, just happened to be in the right place, the right time. And within 2 months of taking the call, we closed a sale. And they're buyers from California that during the process, there was some difficult times because of all this COVID stuff. He's an e-commerce guy and is like a third-party vendor for Amazon. And he really took a hit with that and was contemplating whether or not he wanted to move forward. And so I was thinking about the advice that Rob, you gave us in regards to opening up that Moses Lake office last year, and how you were thinking, this is just not great timing, but you really stressed to us to try to make decisions not based out of fear. And so I talked to him about that, and it was really impactful because I was able to lead him through that more confidently than I think I could have, even just a year or so ago. And just thinking about that experience and knowing, how good it felt to advise him. I basically said, hey, if it's not going to work for you, you don't have 6 months or more of savings in the bank, and this is going to be a financial impact on your family, you absolutely should not do it. And he flat out asked me, do you need this sale? And I said, no, I don't. I said, I'm comfortable. I'm where I'm at. I'm not going to lie. Of course, every sale would be great, but what's most important is that you guys feel good about this move, because it's a huge transition for them, etc. So the gratitude is to both of you, Rob and Cambria. Thank you for providing such an amazing opportunity for us, for not skimming leads off the top that I've experienced before, and for celebrating in our wins and truly supporting us, along with my colleagues too, a couple of you that I've shared this about. It's just so great to know that, as a team, and the atmosphere that you guys have worked hard to build, that now I know I'm a part of, to lift each other up. And these huddles are just great. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you both for giving me that opportunity to grow.
But there was a moment where you were able to advise him, not based on what you might have needed, but based on what was best for him. How did that feel? Like, how did it feel during that time and afterwards that you truly were able to pivot and redirect the focus on, look, guys, this is about what's best for you. If you've got 6 months worth of savings, if you're in a financial position where this isn't an undue burden, that you should move forward. Otherwise, let's back out of this if that's what's in the best interest. Right. How did that feel for you?
So amazing. And to actually say it and mean it, because there have been times in my life, where I've struggled a lot. When I joined Haven, I was not in a good financial position, and was that typical realtor that was like up and down and, let off the gas when things go good. And so just to genuinely in my heart know that absolutely, no, I don't. I have good savings in the bank and everything is going good. I remember exactly where I was standing at the moment of the conversation, and I remember thinking to myself, oh geez, he's really asking me this because he cares. But also, he had asked, what can we do to make you look better in her eyes? And so it was really a different experience with this particular client, and then just the stress of it. But to answer your question, it's hard to even put words into just that feeling of confidence and knowing I don't need it. And if that's what you guys need to do, you absolutely have to do it. But also reminding them too, like I said in the beginning, is just to not make decisions out of fear. And I see that so much happening right now in our world, that to all of you guys, I just can't stress enough, try not to let what else is going out there guide you. Really think deep in your heart what you want most and not get distracted by everything else.
Yes, thank you for sharing all of that. I've got a couple of other questions. You indicated that when you joined Haven, which was, how long ago did you join Haven?
February 4th, last year.
Okay, so it's been just over a year. And what is it, would you say, and you indicated in your words that when you joined, you were struggling financially. You were doing the typical real estate agent roller coaster. What would you say, if you could boil it down to one or two things, what is it that you would say within a year's time has moved you from struggling financially to now where you could literally take one of the largest transactions of your career, the largest transaction of your career? What is it that has taken you from there to now where you could actually authentically say, hey, look, if the right thing is to back out of this transaction, let's do the right thing for you, and that statement not come from a place of worrying about yourself financially? What one or two things that have taken you from there to here?
Yeah, so to put it in perspective, the growth, of course, honestly, just getting to a spot where financially things were so bad. I remember when I joined, I was like, Cambria, can you float me the first month of our fee? I mean, $100 was just like, how am I going to feed my family? And so I got to a spot, I guess you could call it that, low, where you're just like, there's nothing that's going to stop me. And just my determination and faith, a lot of it is that, and just wanting to go and changing my mindset and listening to you guys every meeting. It's like, okay, don't do this, don't be that typical person. And for me, I don't consider myself that, but I realize that my actions in the past were causing me to be that typical person, and I don't want to be ordinary. I want to be extraordinary. And also a huge part of it too is, of course, the leadership. Yes, everybody sees that, but for me, it having that encouragement and faith and support from my peers, and continuing to push me along in a good, positive way. It's like this morning, Rob sent a message out about some sales, and I was like, hey, wait a second, did you see what just happened yesterday? And that's, it's a friendly way. So Elizabeth, I don't know if you're on here, but I'm coming to get you wherever you are.
Here's the thing that we're most proud of. It's not the numbers, guys. It's not the number of transactions. Here's what we really celebrate: the personal breakthroughs that you experience that allows your business and your life to grow, right? Mm-hmm. Think about the blessing and the gift that it is for you and your family, where a year ago you were struggling financially. You think about how that impacts your family. You think about how that impacts your interactions with your family, your ability to focus and be present when your family is together, versus now when you sort of take finances off the table, like, okay, you know what? I'm doing well financially. I'm succeeding. How has that changed your ability to actually bless your family and be present with your family?
Definitely, significantly. I mean, like I said last year, that $100 of our monthly fee was gas in my car so I could continue to work. Being concerned about the small things of, this is really exposing a lot, but I'm okay with being vulnerable. But I remember Ziploc bags. Do I even need them? What a small thing that is. It's a $3 or $4, $5 thing, tinfoil, those things you're like, oh, I really need that for this so I can save up and pay my insurance and my cell phone and my dues and the things that were necessary to keep operating. And I can handle a lot of stress, but I'm not going to lie. I mean, it definitely affects your family because you're worried about it. And I have 2 young kids I don't want them to have that same value of money and struggling all of the time. And so now the conversation is different. It's not so much, we can't afford that. It's, is this even a smart decision? And so I'm really glad to be able to change that conversation with them of, no, we can't get this, no, we can't get that. it's more, do we even need that? Is that necessary, and why? And so there's lots of little examples and situations like that, but it's a significant impact. And, you know, they say that money doesn't make you happy. I'm not saying necessarily that I'm all of a sudden happy, but what I'm saying is that I don't have to stress about the small things. Since I've been with Haven, I've done more sales in 1 year than I did almost more than 3 years combined. And so that's just a huge difference, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's a good story for somebody that's new like me.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. Just stick with it, I guess, is the short answer of it. Don't give up.
Heather, we're really
We're
really touched and grateful for you willing to be so vulnerable and be willing to be so authentic. You know, the message that you just shared with us will help many more people than you realize. And the other thing that I want to highlight is, like, I still, every single time I go to the gas pump and I fill up my truck, every single time, I think about, in 2013, literally, Cambria and I had to start all over, right? And, you know, we were expecting about $65,000 in commissions, and the company we were with refused to pay us. And so we were, you know, I can really identify with where you were at with respects to $100, right? Like $100 being a big deal. Every time I'd fill up my truck, you know, my heart would sink. Like, do I really need to do this? Should I sell my truck and get something cheaper? You know, I would think about if I had a listing appointment on the north side, right? I would think about, golly, how much money am I spending just in gas to get there, right? Literally, I can fill up my gas tank now and not even think about it, but I actually choose to enjoy a moment of gratitude at the journey that we've taken, right? And the growth lessons and all of those things, right? So I would encourage you to, you know, keep that present for you. Keep that feeling present, like the difference.
It keeps the hunger.
Keep that hunger. Yep.
You mentioned Ziploc bags. When we first started, I used to wash mine.
Yep.
I would wash them out, and now every time I go to throw one away, I actually think about how I used to wash them, and sometimes I still do.
Yeah.
Every once in a
The
while.
really big gallon freezer ones,
Yeah.
those are great.
Rob yells at me.
Well, look.
One more thing before I'm done, Jody, I think you're on this morning. Just a huge shout out to Jody as well. We were at brokerage together. I went one place, she came to Haven, and for 6 months, she almost every day or every other day, Heather, what are you doing? How's it going? I'm like, not so good. And she just stayed on it. And so, Jody, I love you and thank you.
Well, you two are both just such a beautiful addition to the Haven family, and we're really grateful to both of you. And you know, you guys are a great fit.
So I just want to say, if I can, I was at the other brokerage at the same time that Heather was, and I was actually an assistant to another agent, and she was thinking about joining our team, and I just remember how positive and humble she was. She was amazing to be around, and then to be here at Haven. And my first day, I got the biggest hug from her, and I'm just so grateful to be here and be a part of the Haven family. I know for my family, if I wasn't a part of Haven right now, I don't know where we would be. Just being here and the positivity and the support, everything. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional this morning. Has been a huge blessing, not only for me, but my entire family.
Wow, thank you.
You
I
people,
just wanna thank
I'm not ready to cry this morning, for God's sake.
I had no idea this was happening this morning. Like,
Would you have done your eyelashes and
No.
makeup if you knew you'd be bawling this morning? For God's sake.